didn't pick up too many pairs for February in general, but I think my favorite pair that I did get, and the only reason it's not going to the black cement, it would be the black cement that would win number one. Was the shoe of the month. But just because it's just, I guess at this point it's just expected. Like it wasn't something that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Sometimes they would give us something. Like when we first heard about this shoe, the 88, Nike white cement.
Yeah.
It was a buzz of town because it was something new they were giving us the first time it came back.
Came back with the Nike ad. Wasn't this the first Nike ad?
Yeah, it was.
Shoe to come back.
So
yeah,
big.
okay.
So if they would have done this followed by the black cement, black cement would have been strong up there.
But that's why they
gave us the 6. They gave us the 3, the True Blue 3.
The True Blue 3, and they gave us the 5. The
so by this time, Nike Air kind of lost its
magic.
Yeah,
it's magic. Yeah.
I mean, for like the OG sneakerheads like Joseph, he remembers having that pair with Nike Air on the back.
Man, putting out the box. Oh man, the smell of it.
Yeah. So as far as that aspect goes, I guess the nostalgia to it, it's there. But as far as not the new sneakerhead, because I'm not new to it, but it just didn't have that wow factor anymore to me. So I can't give it number one because I wasn't wowed by it. Yeah. I got it because I respect it.
You respect it, but
it's not like
it's my favorite 3.
Yeah, so
my favorite Jordan, honestly, of all time.
So I didn't give it to the black cement for that reason. To me, I pulled a couple shoes out, and I think the one I'm gonna go with, for me personally, I guess is kind of left field. It's just like, I guess for me it's just the material and the quality they made on this one, which is weird. And the color's not bad either. In my opinion, the color's one of the best ones. It's gonna be actually a Season of Her shoe. It's gonna be, I believe this is the Sun Blush, or I think it's the Sun Blush, because the darker one would be the red silk, but this is the Sun Blush. And to me, I think this is the shoe of the well, maybe not the colorway, but I guess the way they made it is very well made in my opinion. Check it out, Joseph.
I never looked at it.
You have some really nice suede.
It's very nice. This like velvet right here, silk, whatever you want to call it.
I want to say it's what was the satin? So I want to say
satin.
Satin. Yeah,
satin.
I want to say it's satin. If you have a satin royal or bread, that's what it feels like. So it has some awesome materials, from the really nice suede to the real nice satin.
This feels good against the skin.
Yeah, to the stitching on the Nike Air. They didn't put a plastic stamp on it. They stitched it. They actually stitched it all the way around.
They did.
And the only stamp they did was like on the Ball and Wings logo, the Air Jordan logo, was the only stamp I can kind of tell. And then they kind of went above and beyond with the clear bottom. Not clear, but almost a translucent bottom.
Yeah, it's translucent.
So for all those reasons, I think that's one of the shoes that actually put a lot of work into it. And it's weird because it was directed at the female consumer. So not too many men have them. Some men do have them that actually like the color. I love the color. I think it's going to be an awesome shoe for the summer with some shorts. So I get it for that just because I think that was like the best made shoe in general. To me anyway. It had a lot of quality. There was a lot of quality on that one.
So the reason this shoe is important because a lot of brands are trying to make women's shoes.
That's true.
And they really fail at making women's shoes. Like they just do it just to say they do it to be equal quality. But these honestly, like I looked at them in store, I never like just picked them up and like examined them. But looking at them now, and then the way that he described them, like the detailing on these shoes are actually amazing. Like this is like some of the best quality I've seen from not only Nike but Jordan brand period. So the ladies really got something special when they cop these shoes. The stitching, the satin, the suede, everything on these are just nice. It's like almost a perfect shoe, flawlessly, and then they're heavy. They have a little weight to them, so that just makes it even more pronounced that they are a quality shoe. A little bit outside your box, out the box for February releases, because like we said, there were a lot of shoes to release in the month of February. Now, my favorite shoe though, he knew it was gonna be my favorite shoe, is the Zoom Generation 1, the wheat colorway. A lot of people, you were saying earlier, didn't know about this release.
No one knew about it. It wasn't advertised.
No, it wasn't advertised. The only way you really knew about this is if you're into sneakers, and you were following Sneakers app, or you were following just different the makers that they had, the event they had out there in LA They posted this on that. That would be the only way. I don't even know if any store, maybe like one boutique in Houston may have gotten this pair. Outside of that, if you didn't get it online, if you didn't get it on the sneakers app, or if you don't know about boutiques across the nation, you did not get this shoe. And this shoe is beautifully constructed. The wheat, the gold. First off, LeBron James is my absolute favorite athlete of all time. Any sport. Second would probably be Serena. But LeBron James is one of my favorite athletes, favorite people, period. So I had to cop this shoe when I heard about it. Now, I almost messed up. Little backstory. This is one of my favorite colorways of LeBron's shoe. I got this shoe, was it the 12 or the 13 that released the wheat colorway? Do you remember? It wasn't the 11. It wasn't the 11. It was like the 12 or the 13. They released a version of this shoe. It was like a wheat, and it had a gold check on the side of it. And I bought that because I was like, man, the wheat, they not going to retro LeBron shoes until he retires. So I was like, man, and I wasn't going to pay resale for a shoe that was that old, and you didn't really know how people kept up with it and everything. But there was a shoe, if you remember, they released last year. The Bachata 10 Zoom Generation.
Yeah. A lot of people mistake them for the wheats.
And a lot of people did mistake these for these. So I almost pulled the trigger on these just because I was like, the wheats are never gonna come out. These have come out. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and just cop these. And this is still a nice colorway. You can actually get these from under retail now. On different apps, just because
people that want them,
exactly. And I love the colorway and everything. You got your little like rose gold accents. You got your gum bottom. These are still nice, and I still may actually pick these up. But I'm glad I didn't cop these to replace those. So
didn't pay resale.
Didn't pay resale either. That's another win. So out of all the releases of last month that I was able to cop, I would have to say the Wheat Zoom Generation would be my absolute favorite. Was second favorite after the Black Cements, but Black Cements, everybody has those. That's just my grail when it comes to Jordans. Like the Black Cement 3 is just my grail when it comes to Jordans. Outside of that, there was an unorthodox pair of Jordan 3s that released. And that it was just crazy that this shoe released. So you have your white cement classic Jordan 3. Now you would say, what's the difference? It's the same as this. Well, it is constructed from the same shoe, but then you have the clear bottom on those versus the OG gray bottom. And on one of the shoes, you have this red line that represents, where he supposedly stepped on the free throw line and made his dunk to win his dunk contest. These, I have to say, I like these. This is going to sound so blasphemous, but I like these better than the original pair of cements with the gray bottom.
You like the clear sole?
I like the clear sole, and I feel so wrong and so convicted for saying that.
Nah.
But the clear sole on these grew on me, and I actually like these better than the gray sole. And maybe it's just the times and everything. And if you also notice, the Nike Air looks a bit different. If you compare the two. The Nike Air is kind of like spaced out differently on the back than it was on the gray, and it's darker on the clear soles, and it's also like bunched together. It's also kind of like blown up a little bit. So this would be my third favorite shoe from All-Star Weekend or the month of February to release. Actually, when I first saw pictures of them, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna buy that. This shoes. That's horrible. How could you mess up a classic like that? But after seeing them, I was like, yeah. After I saw more HD shots of them, I was like, yeah, I have to pick this shoe up.
To be honest, this doesn't look bad. Like you wear it like this, you can't even see the clear
really,
sole on it.
Yeah.
So it's subtle. It's there. It's subtle.
Exactly. And when the sun hits it, it'll illuminate a little better.
The only question I have is after a few words.
When it's yellow. I already know. That's what's gonna be weird about it, seeing the Jordan 3 yellow.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm not tripping. I like the shoe. I love the shoe.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could have got these, man. If I could have got these, I might have maybe given them a higher spot. But I didn't get them, so I couldn't give them a higher spot.
And it's just one of many pair that he's not able to get. You understand? Like this. Don't feel bad for him, y'all.
I have a lot of stuff, but not this one, not yet anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Not yet.
So that was a good pick. I'll give you that. That was a good pick. It's kind of like a black cement, but
but it got a little twist to it that made it like that set it apart a little bit. Yeah.
What honorable mentions you want to mention?
Honorable mention for me from the month of February, I have to go that I was able to cop. I have to go to gold toe ones.
Gold toe ones.
Bread toes. I see the hype behind them, even though, and he'll tell you about how people were upset about that. I passed on those. I see the hype. This shoe right here, though, they do crease. Like crease. I didn't think they were gonna crease like that, but
I just imagine the patent leather.
They do crease. They do crease, and mine is like crease right here. But this it still works. This shoe right here it was well constructed. The gold wasn't like oversaturated gold. And when you take it out, it kind of doesn't even look like gold. But when you wear it out and the sun hits it and the light hits it, the way it reflects off, this gold really shines. In the contrast with the black, it's a really beautiful shoe. Now,
you remember the one that came out with the Chicago pack, the UNC pack, and the gold?
Yeah.
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 That's what it reminds me of.
It looks this side. Yeah. It's this side right here. Yeah. This side is the one that came out when we were in middle school. Yeah. That's the other side of it basically the whole shoe was like this when we were in middle school. So this shoe is really nice. At first, when I first saw the top 3, I was like, I'm not feeling this shoe. But I like this one much better. But just because it's consistent. I like, and then the toe is gold on both. The white toe is gonna get dirty pretty quickly. I really love this shoe. This would be my honorable mention as far as like the top 3, top 5 shoes that I was able to cop. The bread toe, not so much. I wasn't really crazy about that shoe. I mean, the colors are nice. Black, red, white. You can never really go wrong with Chicago colorways. It wasn't one that was just high on my radar like that. And I saw it in person, and people thought it was going to be an easy cop. It was an easier cop, but honestly, I feel like that cop was harder than the gold toes, but I didn't cop them, so I wouldn't know. What do you feel about the bread toes?
Bread toes, man, this was a surprise. Like, you know what I call these shoes, dude? They're actually, what I think is a good nickname for these would be the income tax ones. Right, the reason why I say it was because you remember a couple years back they had the income tax 12s.
What color were
the Master 12s?
The Masters.
I don't know if you remember. You remember back in that year when they were dropping all these shoes, everything was sitting. Everything was sitting. And the Master 12, it was nothing special. It was just a 12 that was all black, which was clean.
Right.
But the hype, the day of the release, and people were paying $300 for that. Right. Some even paid $350.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me, and in my mind, the only thing that came to my mind was people got their income tax money and they want to splurge.
Yeah. Right.
So I can understand that. The shoe is nothing special to me. It's a 12, and I think the flu games are way nicer.
Yeah.
The
blue
leather. Yeah. The blue ones are nicer. Maybe not as good as the flu games, but for sure.
The Obsidians, the white and blue.
Yeah, the white and blue ones. Okay. And what else came out that year was.
It was flu games, Obsidian. It was a lot of different 12s.
That was the year of the 12. I remember that, but. The Master 12 was not one on top. I would put over the flu games, and the flu games was hard to get $300 off those. I remember you could.
It was really hard.
Yeah, you were getting like $260, $275 locally. Maybe on eBay you could, but subtract the fees and shipping and PayPal fees and eBay fees, so it wasn't you were making the full $300. But to me, this is what it reminds me of, because I didn't expect the hype to be behind it the way it was, because I was actually able to get a couple pairs of these, and all I did was enter a couple raffles manually. So it was one pair was won through the Reserve app. I actually hit on the store. It was kind of dead. The one in the second center.
Yeah.
Baytown. That mall's kind of dead. There's not too much stuff going on in there, but I work close to it, so I figured I can pick it up if I go to work that day. So that's why I entered that store specifically for that reason. And lucky enough, I hit on that store. But I went to Shoe Palace in Willowbrook and in Deerbrook, and I entered because they were right there by each other. So entered a couple raffles there, and I hit on both of them.
That wraps up our very first episode. That wraps up the month of February releases. It was a lot of shoes, but for the most part, they all had pretty much good quality. And hopefully, you all were able to pick up your favorite pair.